Good morning. Happy Sunday if you're here in Australia, or could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday when you actually see this. So happy day, whatever day it is. I'm going to do something a bit different today. I'm going to talk about myself. Well, that's not different. We all seem to do that a lot, but I'm going to talk about the experience I had. And when was it? See, I'm forgetting already. March 2023 with my heart surgery. I'm going to talk about what led up to it, the signs, the surgery, and my life afterwards. I was down visiting a friend in Melbourne, and I was staying there it was a bit of an extended stay, and I started getting heart pains. Like I wouldn't really say heart pains. I was getting heart sensations. I remember I walked to the shop to get some cigarettes, and the shop was like less than a kilometre away. It's an easy walk. I've always been pretty active all my life, working in construction, and I've always led a physical life, played a lot of sport and everything. And do you know what? Whenever I haven't had a car or a bike or a push bike or whatever, I've never been shy to walk. So walking to me is easy. This particular day, I got 3/4 of the way home, and then I stopped. This weird sensation come over me. This weird, and I actually thought I was going to faint. I was feeling dizzy. I was weird. I'm lying down, not lying down. I'm thinking of lying down on the footpath because it was intense. I didn't know what was going on, and then I'm thinking in my head, I'm about to die. Then I thought to myself, no, fuck this. I'm just going to walk. I'm going to walk home. It was a pretty hot day too. It was still the remnants of summer. We just come out of summer here in Australia, and I've walked home. I've sat down on a chair, and I said to my mate, I just had a weird thing happen to me. I don't know exactly what it was. I sat down and it kind of went away. I'd relaxed, and I went on with my life as normal, smoking, doing whatever. Then these sensations started to come more and more. And I actually wrote a post on Facebook, and people were saying, get to the hospital, get to this and that. And I really didn't think it was, I thought that, I don't know, I'm one of those, I just, I'll be right. Then finally, I was meant to go for an interview. I was trying to find work while I was down there. And I couldn't go to the office, which is down the same place where I bought the smokes from. It was like 500 metres, a kilometre down the road. And I rang the fella who I had the appointment with and said, listen, I can't make it today because I'm getting these weird sensations. And in Australia, when you're unemployed, you have to do certain activities to get the criteria to get your payment. And the guy on that, I got along good with him. I'm lucky I had a good worker there in that office. He said to me, listen, don't worry about coming in today. Get yourself to a doctor's and get yourself checked out. And he actually got on the phone, rang around and found a few doctors for me, sent me an SMS, and then I've clicked on the doctor. I made an appointment and I went to the doctor's that day. And believe it or not, the doctor refused to see me because in Australia we have a Medicare system, and doctors, they do what's called bulk billing, where you don't have to pay. You show your Medicare card, and it's taken care of, and it's offset with your tax. Anyway, I checked that. I made the appointment. I went there and I said, do you use bulk bill? Yes, that's the first thing I asked. And I said, fine. The appointment was at 2 o'clock. I had to do a pre-appointment form online. I've done that. I've gone there, walked up there, said, I'm here for my appointment. And I walked to the doctor's, mind you. It was about 500-600 metres away. 700 metres away. I've walked in absolutely, I honestly thought I was on my last legs. And then the doctor's receptionist said to me, no, I can't see you. You need $100 up front because it's your first visit. And I said, I thought you bulk billed. I haven't got $100. I'm not here for a checkup or for a cold or a flu or whatever. I'm here because I'm getting chest pains. I'm getting heart pains. I'm really worried. And she goes, here's what she said to me. What do you want me to do about it? I just looked at her and thought, actually, I don't know if I said that out loud. I said, don't worry, you bitch. Hopefully I'll make it home. And so I walked out of there, feeling quite pissed off, actually. Anyway, after that, I didn't want nothing to do with these doctors or nothing no more. That put me off. And then they started getting worse and worse. And so in the end, I'm lying on the floor in my mate's place, lying like in these pains. And I just couldn't do anything. I really didn't. I'd smoke one cigarette a day and that, because every time I had a cigarette, the pains would come back. I'd eat, and then if I got too bad, I'd go have a shower and I'd just try and relax. Anyway, my mate said to me, if you don't get yourself to a hospital today, I'm going to call an ambulance. I go, don't call an ambulance. Because what's an ambulance going to do? They're going to get here and it's going to be nothing. And I'm going to feel, I'm going to waste their time. But anyway, I heard, because he said that to me, I thought, fuck it, I'm going to make an effort. So I've gone out the front, and literally right out the front of his door, less than about 10 steps away, because he was in units, and on the other side of the fence was a bus stop. So I've gone out, waited for the bus. I'd read the timetable wrong, so the bus wasn't going to be for another 20 minutes, but you could walk up around the corner and meet the bus. But I thought, fuck it, I'll walk up around the corner and get another bus. I went 20 steps, I had to turn back, and I couldn't even wait at the bus stop. I sat down on his front porch and waited for the bus to come, and I got on the bus. But when I got on the bus, I started feeling all right. So I had to catch a bus to a place called to Footscray, and then from Footscray I had to change and get on a tram and go to Footscray Hospital. And on the bus I'm feeling okay. So when I got off at the interchange, I went to the tram. I bought a cheap pack of smokes. Stupid me. I thought I'll have a smoke and get on the tram, because the tram was coming in 5 minutes, and I hadn't had a smoke for a day or two because I couldn't get to the shops because I couldn't walk there. So I've had this smoke, and biggest mistake ever. Biggest mistake. When I got on the tram, I'm getting lightheaded, dizzy spell, the pains are coming. And because I got on the first stop at the terminus or whatever it is, there was no one on it, but everyone started getting on this tram. People were coming along. I was crowded in. I was boxed in. I was sweating. I thought, I'm going to die. I'm honestly going to die. And I finally got to where the hospital stop was. I had to literally walk about 60, 70 metres to the hospital. I've walked 60, 70 metres. After 20, 30 metres, I had to stop and sit on the seat. And then as I'm walking up the driveway to the hospital, I'm thinking, I've come in the wrong end. This just looks like a car park. I'm starting to panic at this stage. And anyway, I yelled out to a nurse. I seen a nurse come out. I yelled out, excuse me. And she just looked at me. She goes, are you okay? Are you having chest pain? And she knew straight away. And she'd actually finished her shift. She finished the shift, but she was good enough. Bless her. She walked me in the hospital. I was at the wrong end. I was at the back end. She called it's the MIT team, emergency response team or something within the hospital. And they've come round. They've got me. They've carted me off to emergency. And on there they asked me a few questions, this and that, blah, blah, blah. They put me in there. They done a couple of blood tests and that. And then they said, look, we're keeping you in here. There's signs that says you've had heart strain or heart attacks or whatever. There's markers in your blood from these tests. They put me on a drip. And of this stuff, G&T or G... I know what it is, but anyway, this drip that kind of expands your vessels and arteries and takes away and alleviates the pain. But that night, they said they're going to keep me in. They're going to keep me until, I think it was on a Friday I went in. They kept me until a Monday, so I can go and have an angiogram. So I spent one night down there in the emergency. The next day they transferred me up to the cancer ward. The cardio ward. Sorry, that was just I don't know why I said that, but I went up to the cardio ward. And that was pretty scary. That was one of the scariest experiences I've had. Because I'm up there on the drip and everything. And mind you, I had a full pack of smokes that I bought at the tram terminal. And I didn't touch them. I didn't want them. I didn't want to. I dripped on my arms and this and that. Actually, I cut to the end. I quit smoking that day. As soon as I went into the hospital, I have never had the last cigarette I had in my life was at that tram stop. And that was on the 24th of March, 2023. Anyway, I've gone upstairs. And they've upped my dose a bit because I said, yeah, I can still feel these pains a bit. And they put me in a room with it was a two beds in there. I was in there by myself, by the window. I've been there for about an hour, and they wheeled this other fella in. So I got a roommate. He was in there for an hour. He sounded well. He's talking to his family. He had his son on the phone. He had a visitor, and he's asking the nurse, can he go for a walk? And they said, look, we'll just check because it should be fine, but you got low blood pressure. We don't want you to fall. And he goes, yeah, he's all happy. And I heard his son talking I had him on speakerphone as he's talking to the doctor, and they're explaining this and that. This is my second day in hospital. Next minute, all hell breaks loose. They pulled his curtain across. All these people come running in. Was a code orange or code blue or something like that, some code. My memory's slipping about these things, but at the time I knew exactly what every code was they called in the hospital because I was ultra aware of my environment, which basically meant he was going into cardiac arrest. And next minute I've heard someone says, oh, you better get this other fella out. So they've just wheeled me out round the corner, my bed, and there's all this activity going on, and I've heard them yell out, charged, clear, boom, the defibrillator. Then there was nothing. Then about 30 seconds later, or however long it was, they said, charged. Bang, nothing. I never went back to that room. That fella didn't make it. I know his name, but out of respect, I'm not going to say his name on here. But he never made it, and I was still in the corridor, and I was just thinking, where am I? Yesterday I had nothing wrong with me. Like, I've been pretty well healthy all my life, and I thought, where am I? And then my pains were getting worse after that. They put me to another room, save up me G&T or whatever it's called, GTN or G&T, whatever it's called. They upped that because my pains were getting worse. And then the nurse is telling me, listen, it's a weekend and that. We can't wait for Monday for your angiogram. We've got the doctor coming in, the specialist coming in now to administer that to you. And so I thought, wow. And she goes, they'll come and get you and take you down. So before that happened, I had to sign this form. And a doctor come in and said, you need to sign this because, there's a chance that you can die during this angiogram. And I'm thinking, and I'd already had the fear put right into me. I was like, all this come on for me so quick. It happened so quick. And so I've signed it thinking, wow. And they said, when you're having this procedure, and what it is, they stick a camera in your vein. It goes up, around there, and it goes into your heart. And it has a look at what's in there, and it puts some dye in, boom, so I can take photos of what that dye's in there. And they said you have to stay awake during it. So you're not even put to sleep while they're doing it. So I'm in there, and it's like, it's a freaky place. It's a freaky room. There's a screen in there that any pub would be proud to have on the wall. It's massive, and it's got all this shit in there, and the doctor's there, and they're going in there, and I think I'm still around, and I felt all kind of warmness inside me, a flush. Oh, that's that dye. I actually felt it. Anyway, the doctors looked, and they said, look, take it out, no good. Nah, stop here. Because they told me when they done the angiogram that they could put stents in if it was bad, and then I could go home. It's just like a in and out thing. You get the stents, you're fixed. Anyway, no stents went in. I'm asking the doctor what. He said, look, you're too far gone. I went, what? He goes, he said, yeah, he's got to go for open heart. So basically, they told me I needed open heart surgery. So they taken me back up to the ward, and they said they had to look around for a hospital that would take me. Then they got like specialist nurses in there, and the nurse said to me, our job at the moment is to keep you alive. We need to keep you alive to get you to the hospital to have open heart surgery. Anyway, Royal Melbourne Hospital accepted me, so I was transported over there by patient transport. I'm just eating some salmon for breakfast here on Sunday. So they took me over to Royal Melbourne. I went straight into the cardio ward, a special ward there for people waiting for heart surgery. And it was pretty freaky. So this is like a week and a half after I'd been admitted into the hospital, the first hospital, Footscray, transferred to Royal Melbourne. And on the 4th of April 2023, I went in for heart surgery. The surgery was pretty traumatic. Go and leading up to it, because you're thinking to yourself, am I going to make it? They're going to put me under, and when I go under, that might be the last thing I ever know or see of. And I honestly didn't think. I was thinking I wasn't going to make it. It's a thought. But the day before I went to surgery, what helped me, I had a few Christians show up, and they prayed for me, and they come in 2 at a time. A friend over in Western Australia, Mel, she organised them. They come to hospital, and it gave me, I had inner peace. No matter what happened in that surgery the next day, I'd accepted it already. And they were telling me, no, it's okay, God's going to look after you and you're going to be right, and, you know, just have faith. And I said, look, I have got faith, and it doesn't matter. If he wants me and if he calls me, I'm ready to go. I'd accepted my own. I accepted my own death, and that's a hard thing, but I honestly did. I accepted it. Whatever happened in there, I was fine with. Well, as you can see, I come out in one piece. Well, I sew them back together one piece, because what they actually do, they open your chest up, rip it apart, they take your heart out, they stop it for 4 hours, take a lung out, stop that. You're hooked up to an artificial heart for the duration of the surgery, and a breathing machine, and then they put it all back together. And when you wake up in intensive care, because you go straight to intensive care, it is horrible, with tubes down your throat. So if you can't breathe, you gag it, and you don't know. You feel like it's not a nice experience. I'm telling you, it's not nice at all. And I asked if I'm trying to say, and usually they don't. They let mine out because I was doing my vitals, and they had come good. Like I was meant to be in intensive care for like 2 to 3 days. I was in there for just over a day. My healing started very quickly, though. You have to have, there's fluid in your lungs after this, and you have to get it up, and it's important to get it. And you got to try and cough it out. But guess what? You can't cough without a hell of a lot of pain, because you've just been cut in half, your whole sternum and that. So they give you a little pillow. They call it a teddy bear, and once you've got to squeeze, and you can cough. And before I went in, like they gave me a briefing on, listen, your recovery and your will depend on you doing what's needed of you, and that's when you need to cough, and you've got to do everything they tell you, because if you don't, things can go bad. It can cost you your life. So I forced myself to cough. I actually was still in a lot of pain, and you can't move, and it's hard, you can't sleep. You got to sleep flat on your back pretty well, because if you sleep on one side, your body's still, you can hurl crooked. So I was very conscious of that. I used to like sleeping in the fetal position. Anyways, I stayed in the hospital for a few weeks and started recovering. It was a long road to recovery, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And I was down in Melbourne. I was away from a lot of my friends and family. I did have a couple of friends down there. I've lived in Melbourne quite a few times in my life, but I lost touch with a lot of people I knew when I first went down there in the 90s, but I did have some friends in Melbourne who come and visited me. A friend from Brisbane visited me as well. So I stayed in Melbourne for 3 months post recovery. This time felt right. Then I come back up north. Now, I might think, why me? Why this? Why that? To cut a long story short, my heart surgery, my heart problems, they saved my life. They honestly saved my life. I went through a pretty hard and traumatic time, but that was a blessing, because you know what? A lot of people have heart attacks with no signs at all, and they drop, and they never get to the hospital. People younger than me, it doesn't matter what your age is. If it's your time to go and your heart's giving up, no, I pushed my limits. I had the pains for 2-3 weeks before I even, like 2 weeks before I went to the doctor, and then there was another 2 or 3 weeks after I went to the doctor because they wouldn't let me see him. I pushed my limits. And if that nurse, I honestly was that was my way out. Getting to that hospital, that last walk from that tram, that was the last thing I could do without any surgery or anything. I'm just lucky I survived it. Things went right for me. That nurse did. The hospital did. I got transferred to, I will say it's probably Royal Melbourne Hospital is probably the best hospital in Australia, up there with St Vincent's, and then there's another one up here in Brisbane that is pretty good, but best in Australia as far as heart surgery go. I was in the right place at the right time. Well, some say it's the wrong time, right time, but I got through it. I quit smoking that day. I haven't touched a cigarette since, as I said, the 24th of March 2023. I'm eating a lot healthier now. I've changed my diet to like using proactive margarine instead of butters and stuff. I'm a lot more conscious of the food I eat. A lot less takeaway food. A lot less. Very minimal compared to what I used to. I've got a long way to go to get my fitness back. As you can tell when I showed you my scar, I've put on a little bit of extra weight for this, but I do intend to do it. They say Rome's paved with a road full of intentions. The road to Rome's full of intentions, but I'm going to do that. That's my next phase. I'm blessed. I've been given a new life. I've changed my outlook on life. You know, I accepted my own fate. I accepted my own destiny. I learned to appreciate a lot more things in life. I learned the value of love. I learned the value of friendship. I learned the value of, hey, do the little things in life, do they really matter? Are they worth getting upset over? Are they worth getting angry over? I've got so much more understanding. I have to take medication every day of my life. 6 different pills every day. But I do it without a hitch. When I was younger, I was one of those ones that if I was given the course of any antibiotics, it was pointless, because I'd take 1 or 2 and never finish the course. You're meant to finish the course, but I haven't missed a beat with my heart medication. So I take blood pressure pills, I take aspirin to thin the blood, I take a thing called a beta blocker, which is kind of slows your heart rate down and it stops the adrenaline from kicking in and keeps you calm and stuff. But there's been lifestyle changes, but I got given the gift of life. My life expectancy hasn't decreased now. The surgeon's done a great job, and I'm truly blessed. I'm truly blessed. This is just my story. It's part of who I am now. It has changed my way of thinking a lot, greatly, and it's given me a lot more appreciation, and it's really shown me what love is. To be able to love life, love your fellow humans. They fixed my heart, and when they fixed my heart, they restored and gave me more empathy, more compassion, and more love. So I had to have a broken heart to get it fully functioning. So for those of you out there who's doing it hard, Just never give up. There's always hope. While you draw breath, there's always hope. And that's what I learned, because I never actually gave up. At times I thought that this is it, but you know what? Deep inside, I knew. And to all the people on Facebook, social media, and friends around the world who supported me and sent me love for all this, that is greatly appreciated and treasured. And that's my story. That's my heart surgery. Any questions you want answered about it, just drop them in the comments. If you've got to this end of the video, it may be long, it may seem boring, but it's my life. God bless.